Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on our YouTube account and we're continuing our progression within the Temporal Rift. There are so many game related things that are going on, from the quest to the events, to the Rift, to the Misty Valley. Make sure you're not missing anything, guys. That is actually why I have started playing less accounts, because there is such a high time consumption right now within so many game modes. I want to focus on and continue the focus on the YouTube account, making progression again in the Rift, making progression through a lot of different game modes. So if you finally got to this point, guys, Temporal Rift, we have gotten into our 3 teams, finally got them unlocked. And as you can see, we were at floor 150. We got our 3 teams. We are at 297 right now, guys. We have made an incredible amount of progression in here. Now, looking at our badges, we are level 14 badges versus 23 legendary badges. So they have an absolute asinine advantage when it comes to the power that they have. We're about 10 billion. They're at 42 billion. So about 4x the power that we have. Still making very slow progression. Now, I'm going to show you the 3 teams that I am running in here. I will also show you the beacons that I'm running. So this is more of a heavy investment. Warrior, Ranger, Support are the strongest 3 strongest beacons in here. A lot of players either do Ranger or Warrior and then tank. I forego and I did not do the tank because I did Ranger Warrior, because I have the awakened version of Brutus and I have Thane. Both work incredibly well within this game mode. And then of course, Supporter's Tenacity. We also have the awakened version of Solus as we continue to build these out, guys. For everything down here, even Fearsome Alliance, most of these, there's not a big reason to really pick those up. They're a little bit more expensive, but focusing on the 3 primary trees is the way that you want to build it. Over here in the room, I just picked up anything that was free with our cores. That way we could utilize it, making sure that we have a little bit of a bonus in there from there. All right, so running through the 3 teams that I am running right now, guys. First one, of course, Brutus and Treznar. Now, overall, guys, looking at my Treznar, he is not built whatsoever. I have Halos, I have Frampton, and I also do have right down here with Merlin. Now, Frampton can be replaced with Rowan. That is what some people are running. But overall, guys, I really need to build out my Treznar much higher. Not only for this game mode, but he is also used in PvP. He is also used in the Treasure Scramble. He has a ton of utility as far as a hero goes, because he is also a Ranger spec, which we do have the beacon for, making it a big difference. Second team, like I said before, we have the Warriors. So I have Ulna, I have Silas running in this, Athalia, Ranger. I do have the awakened version of Thane in here. And then we also do have Rosaline following Thane to really boost up the damage in there, making it a really strong combination. Now in here, I've kind of went back on the different beasts in here. I put the Owl in here again for a little bit of a boost out of here. Athalia does incredibly well in this game mode when you're stacking badges behind a big burst hero like Athalia, because you can get her free to play out of the shop. Relatively easy to get, especially if you've been playing AFK Arena for a while. Looking at team 3, we do have the awakened version of Solus and Ezio kind of as a finisher. Audrey in here, we have Anasta, and then we do have Peanut. I would love to have Peanut built up a little bit more to get some more of the mitigation, but overall, guys, we have a significant amount of mitigation between Anasta, also helping with the healing with Solus, and then of course mitigation with Peanut in the bottom, making this a pretty good combination. And then we have Audrey in here, of course, for the damage, and then we have Ezio in here as the finisher. So those are the 3 again that I'm running, guys. So today I was at 150. I've almost went to floor 300, which of course, as you know, is not even unlocked past 300. We still have 3 more days, so I'm going to sit for 3 more days and then continue my progression in there. Now, I'm going to go through, guys. I'm going to look at one of our Chinese guides that is up over on Discord. I'm going to put a link down below. A lot of problems. A lot of players are having problems with the links to Discord, because if you're not in the Discord, sometimes you can see it. Sometimes it doesn't let you see the guide, but I'm going to go ahead. We're going to run through this and take a look at some of the teams in here. So let's go ahead and look at the guide. All right, guys, so here is the guide. And again, a lot of this is from the Chinese servers, as you can see right here. But visually, you can kind of break it down. So looking at the first team in here, that is the one that I'm running Ulna with Silas. We have Athalia in here, we have Thane, and we have Rosaline. Works, again, incredibly well. Second team I am running as well. Ezio, we have Solus in here, Anasta, Audrey, and a Star, because I do have them all built, guys. Works again very, very well. Now, as we start getting into some of these other teams, this is almost the old God tier comp. We have the original version of Tailene, which is used with an incredible amount of utility in different game modes. We have Aziz, we have the twins, we have Nevi in there, and then Mortis, of course, as a buffer for Tailene. The big thing in here, guys, is Tailene is going to be your primary damage dealer. She can still carry a team incredibly, incredibly well. When you stack buffs behind her, she works awesome. Now, Zolrath with Joan, we have Rowan, we have Kren, and then we have Leica in here. Big thing with this one focuses on, of course, the damage that we're going to get out of Kren. So we have the delay with Zolrath, we have the haste, and we also do have the energy buff that we get from Leica, meaning Kren is going to ult, and he is going to ult very, very fast, guys. You can actually get him to ult super fast with this dynamic, because again, there's going to be a delay bringing them in. Zolrath with 3 of 9 furniture, and then Leica with the awe ability makes this whole cycle work incredibly well. And this is the other team that you guys seen that I was running. So we have Brutus, we have Treznar in there, and then we do have Halos, we have Frampton, which of course Frampton does some crowd control, and then of course we have the mitigation in here for Merlin. Now this guy goes through a lot of different formations, guys. A lot of players always ask, is there a free-to-play version? Is there a different guide? So as you start getting into multiple teams, you could even almost look at this, and I believe it's kind of, this could be a first team that you put in here. When you start getting into 2 teams, when you start getting into 3 teams, even going into 4 teams, going into 5 teams, you can see some of the dynamic changes, actually swapping in Mishka and Screg within here with Thane. Because of course, remember the invade that you're going to get, Mishka gets the buff, Thane gets the buff from Screg, works incredibly well. And then of course, Sonya can provide some really solid mitigation in there with the golden roses that she provided, a solid team as well. This Tailene team, the exact same as we just seen. Now this is an interesting one. It's kind of a different dynamic. So actually putting in Arthur with Orthos. So of course, Orthos is going to stop time. The strongest hero will continue to move, which in this case is going to be Kren, guys. So you can actually have Kren continue to do damage while time is frozen with Orthos's ult, making it a very, very strong combination in there. Then of course, Solus with the awakened version of Tailene. Of course, Tailene does a lot of damage, guys. And then we have buffers in here. So actually putting Hodgkin in this formation, because again, Hodgkin provides a considerable amount of crowd control and also some buffs when we're going through the rift. Halos, shielding buffs, and then of course Peanut, damage mitigation, keeping this entire team up. And as we continue down here, guys, you can see we have right here the old school Ainz comp. Still works incredibly well, guys. Ainz stacked with badges, stacked with beacons, does incredibly, incredibly well. Same here, and again, looking at more of the free-to-play friendly comps that we can build in here. Even looking through here, guys, Halos, really big priority, still used in a lot of game modes. Brez, Hodgkin, absolutely. Oden, Silas. Now this does bring in right there with the Mage Tree. So again, if you're not going Ranger, or if you decide to go, let's say Tank Mage on the free-to-play account, I am running Tank Mage, and I'm using Ainz, and I'm using Oden in a very similar formation to this. So this is a combination of running Tank, Mage, and Support within here, which again can work incredibly well depending on the heroes that you do have built. Now here, of course, this replaces Sonya and Aziz in here, more of kind of the God tier comp combination. Then they get into some of the kind of off comps here. We do have double tank here with, of course, Mage with running Scarlet. This is one, again, that I've run with our Mage comp. Scarlet run with Rosaline is a very, very strong combination. Desira, of course, can do the immunity, just have to keep the tanks up in there. And then here, the same, the awakened version of Tailene. Flora in here, again, focusing kind of more on the Mage aspect when you look at some of the builds within this guide. All right, guys, so that'll do it. I hope some of the visuals, I know it is not in English, guys. I tried to find this anywhere that I could. It seems like a lot of the people that can translate from Chinese to English, it's some of it's kind of broken, some of it is kind of pieced together. Some of it, like this, guys, is just kind of visuals that you can go through. It is volume 1, so this is probably the first iteration of the teams to run through the Temple Rift. But again, I hope it helps out when it comes to the combinations. really going through here, seeing what heroes you have, what heroes you can actually build out to fill in kind of the gaps of the formations. And ultimately, guys, you might get to a point where if you're in 3 teams, 4 teams, 5 teams, you really have to use what you have. If I have a hero that is completely built out versus a hero that you might see in these formations that is not quite built out or really not built at all, it might just be subbing hero for hero at that point to make these teams work. So again, guys, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.